Wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on our national conversation here today. We have a number of things to do. Today is a provincial update meeting, so we will be hearing from our provincial coalition. So I do have to start with, before I actually give it to Chris, I would like to pass it over to Mo to say a little bit about what CanFit Pro has to offer, some exciting things for FIC members. And congratulations to CanFit Pro too on their last convention that FIC was a part of, and thank you so much for having us. So Mo, if you don't mind letting our members know what CanFit Pro has to offer.
Thank you, Trisha. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday to all. Yes, I wanted to first of all say thank you for all your support, those who presented at our business and leadership event last Friday. For those who attended, your support is greatly appreciated. We had great turnout and wonderful feedback from all of the presenters and all of the sessions. And it was really an international event. We had representation from 5 different continents in the world. We had even some of our colleagues and friends from Australia, as well as, from the UK, the United States, and of course, Canada. And I'm missing somebody, New Zealand. That's right. We had Kiwis on as well. So thank you for that. And of course, we appreciate and we look forward to receiving your feedback. So for those who did attend, I know many of you filled out your feedback. The other thing that some of you participated in, and we are excited to share, is that we will be launching next Wednesday our CanFit Pro 2021 Trends Report. And this is unique. We've had the greatest response to this trend survey that we have seen in a decade. And while I don't have the actual numbers, I do know that it was well beyond our expectations. So thank you. It allows us to collect Canadian data as far as everything related to industry trends and questions about what, of course, the pandemic has done to affect our businesses, our people, but also what we anticipate is coming as a result of the opening of the fitness industry once again. And so I wanted to share that with you. It will be published on our website. Following this meeting, Trisha will send out that detail with the link so you can keep your eyes posted on that. I trust that it will help guide you and it'll give you insight to be in the know, specifically around Canadian responses and needs, and follow everything that you're asking for to be more Canadian. This will be the closest you can get. Lastly, just as a reminder, as FIC members, you do have the ability to join CanFit Pro as a business member for free for a gold level membership. This will allow you to receive many benefits, and I will allow you just to review those. Again, Patricia will put that reminder into the communication as well. So thank you for all of you who have joined as business members. We have 50 new business members just over the last month and a bit, and we're looking to double or triple that being members of FIC. So feel free to just fill out the submission for your membership, and Fatima at our member experience team at CanFit Pro will be there to fulfill your membership. And if you have any questions, you can also reach out to Fatima. Her information is in that communication. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mo. So a couple of days ago, I did send out the information package for this. If you did not receive it or need to look around in your email, not to worry, I will send out that information once again so you have a reminder to make sure that you are set up with that business account if you're a member of FIC, which all of you are. So we will be making sure that is on the way. So thank you so much, Mo, and the CanFit Pro team. I will now send it over to Chris Gray, our lobbyist, to tell everybody what we're doing.
Sure, thank you, Trisha, and thanks for having me here. Just a few things to update folks on, and what we're doing moving forward. So we, as many of you know, we have sent letters to key ministers who would be involved in our work. We've also sent follow-up emails to them, and particularly Minister Saint-Onge from Quebec. She has, as Natalie can attest to, she's said some good things recently about the fitness industry and how she wants to help. So we are working on a priority meeting with her as soon as we can. Parliament does resume on Monday, so we will get back to some more regular sittings for Parliament, and MPs will be taking more meetings moving forward. And Sara, Trisha, and I will be meeting next week to further develop our government relations plan moving forward, at least for the next couple of months, while we try to engage with parliamentarians and officials moving forward, particularly on the medical tax exemption issue that we will continue to advocate for in the lead up to the 2022 federal budget, which we anticipate will come out in March of next year. And I know that Sara has also liaised with some folks in the Minister of Finance's office, trying to get some more clarity on the support measures moving forward, as legislation will have to be introduced very shortly that will implement those two revised programs that the government had introduced or announced last month. And then just one more thing, furthering our relationship with the CFIB, we are having a meeting with them next week to basically make sure we're aligned with them and where we can support them on their advocacy efforts and they can support our advocacy efforts moving forward. So we're singing from the same songbook, so to speak. So that meeting's happening on the 24th, where we will talk about aligning our GR efforts in a better way moving forward. So I think that's about it. I don't know, Trisha, Sara, if you had anything else to add.
Yeah, so our next national meeting is going to be on December 3rd. And for that meeting, it's going to be strictly structured around lobbying and particularly what CFIB is doing to lobby for the fitness industry as well as small businesses, and how we are working together and what we as an industry can do, or any campaigns that we can do in order to support these lobbying efforts. So note that down in your calendar. I will send out reminders that December 3rd is all going to be revolving about lobbying. And on that note, I will send it over to Sara, who's going to be talking to you about our affinity partnerships, which is something that we introduced during our meeting where we went over the upcoming strategy for FIC.
Thank you, everyone. It was really nice to hear everyone's really positive feedback, and I think just alignment and excitement for our strategic plan moving into 2022. I think all of us are looking for some type of structure and planning. It always being planned and prepared just makes us feel good about our future direction. One of the topics that we spoke about was partnerships, and specifically affinity partnerships, that we are committed to increasing the FIC affinity partnerships by 3 meaningful partnerships over the course of 2022. And I'm excited to report that we are well underway on that, accelerating beyond where we thought we would be right now. And the first affinity partnership is with ParticipACTION. We can all remember back to the Hal and Joanne days. But ParticipACTION, and Carl and I want to be the future Hal and Joanne, so we're working on that too. We believe there is a lot of really good potential there. That's a half a joke, half real, because I think it would be hilarious. But with ParticipACTION, they have created an open letter to the federal government pushing to reduce physical inactivity and to promote physical activity. And the campaign is Not a Time to Be Still. If you're following us on social media, you will see it. If you're not following on social media, I don't know what you're thinking. You should be following us on social media, so please do so. But let's share that we are a champion behind that cause. I think it's really important for us to all be aligned as associations that promote physical activity right now. So we're a champion in that campaign. you can go and sign the open letter. I really encourage everybody to do that. You can go to ParticipACTION.com, and it's really easy, and it just walks you through how to sign that letter and how to be involved. Again, share that on your own social media, get more people involved in that. I think that the last time I checked, we were still around 4,000 signatures. There's way more than 4,000 people in Canada who are aware of our physical inactivity crisis. So let's get as many people as possible signing that. That lends to our federal advocacy. That lends to us going and saying we have a powerful voice as an industry. Please listen to us. And I want to thank Mo for taking the initiative in the direction of being able to really create this trends report, because that also lends itself to our federal advocacy. These are all really, really meaningful things. They tie right into our strategic plan for 2022. So I'm just really excited to see that everyone's kind of moving in step with one another. And so that's one of our affinity partnerships. And over to you, Trisha, to talk about our other affinity partnerships. We're 2 out of 3. That ain't bad, as Meatloaf said. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Here we go, Trisha.
Thanks, Sarah. Yes, for our second affinity partnership, we are partnering with an organization called For Global, which does research on industry-wide basis. So Mo, thank you so much for the trends report, because that goes through some of the industry trends. And now we're actually going to be partnering with an organization that goes through economic trends. And they are an organization that is funded to do industry research on the fitness industry through the Sheffield Hallam University. And so this research is going to be already funded for, and it's going to be based on Canadian industry. And so they have done a number of different reports already across Europe, and the title of one I can send to everybody. There's a social return on investment of sport and physical activity in England. So instead of England, it would be Canada. And that's actually going to launch fairly soon with us here. So we really hope that our FIC members will help us in collecting the data that is required for this report. And this way we can bring the information to the government for better lobbying efforts, as Sara has pointed out. So this one is going to be measuring the social and economic impact that the fitness industry has on our citizens. So really happy to be getting that underway. So that wraps up our pieces of information that we want to share before we get into part 2, which is our provincial updates. So with provincial updates, I will hand it over to Carl in BC.
Hello, everybody in Canada. Carl in BC here. So first of all, I just wanted to start by sharing that, making sure that we all have the thoughts of the British Columbians who lost their lives in the floods this week. And everybody affected by the historic rains and floods in British Columbia. So thoughts are with everybody that's been directly affected. Sara and I were able to contribute to an engagement call with the Minister of Economic Recovery yesterday and describe the pains of the fitness industry in the area of Abbotsford, Mission, and also the interior affected by the rains. We described some additional support for the fitness facilities in this area that was needed. We described the specific clubs that were directly affected. And if anybody on this call was directly affected by those floods, please email me directly. Trisha, if you could put my email address on the screen, because it will be beneficial to know if your club was specifically affected by water damage, or even the routes towards your club. So if any roads disables your members' ability to get to your business, I'd like to be aware of that as well, and we'll support the process. We look forward to the NDP government's, provincial government's response, and we hope to hear about grant money or relief coming in the coming days for these fitness facilities. COVID cases in British Columbia are steady, around 300 cases a day in the past few days. Gyms remain open with only fully vaccinated members allowed to enter our facilities. In British Columbia in particular, with the FIC, we are preparing for the biggest campaign we've produced for the coming new year. So we're working as a group to get British Columbians back to fitness. And so we're looking forward to making a huge splash using all of our resources. We've already been in contact with Dr. Henry directly to participate in our campaign. She has participated with our group, the FIC, in the past indirectly, not necessarily directly. And so we're asking her for support. We have supported her in British Columbia with keeping fitness healthy and safe, supporting keeping fitness open. And we're hoping her response will be that she'll be able to directly support a campaign that will change the minds of any British Columbians who feel fitness is not safe or healthy at this time, because we've made an investment in British Columbians by supporting the vaccine passport. And I think we've done an incredible job in the fitness industry in British Columbia. Sara also has been working hard and relentlessly trying to continue to build a relationship with Fraser Health, Vancouver Coastal Health, and Interior Health in an effort to explain how we directly benefit them and their services and how they can participate and help in our recovery as well. So far, we've had some strong engagement and response from Fraser Health and their directors, and we hope to build on that momentum. So the key here is really getting the key public figureheads in British Columbia that have described fitness as a place that may not be safe during the pandemic. Now that it is safe, it's critical for our industry to survive through this pandemic and past, that they start speaking positively about us. If you remember back in, we certainly do, but Canadians outside of British Columbia, back about a year ago, we were able to have convinced Dr. Henry to state that high transmissions were not happening in fitness facilities. So she has supported us in the past. We want to get people like Dr. Henry, the president of Fraser Health, president of Interior Health, to start speaking about fitness in a positive light. We felt like we've committed and supported them in their efforts with masking, distancing, pre-bookings, and those sort of initiatives to keep people healthy and safe. We're looking for that return as well. So listen to my words. It's really critical that anyone in BC that is a gym owner, operator that is not a member of the FIC on this call right now, you have to join, get started with the FIC. Our campaign is going to change lives. It's going to build our businesses back and establish stronger relationships with public health and the government than our industry has seen ever before. So join the FIC. Don't miss out on this momentum that we're going to create in January. We're super excited about this in our group this coming December and January about this campaign. We're going to be in the media. We're going to have famous people. We're going to have Dr. Henry, and we really want to build this industry back. And so if you aren't a part of the FIC, don't miss out on this momentum that we're going to create for FIC members in British Columbia. We've built so much camaraderie in British Columbia. We're talking about in BC launching some educational initiatives, launching some public speakers to come in and educate us in our bi-weekly meetings. And heck, like we had a call this week, and most of us just decided, why don't we just get together and have some fun, where we're finally allowed to do that. So the BC group is coming together just to sit down, talk, have a few drinks, build even further camaraderie. So there's a lot of momentum right now in BC, and you can see it nationally as well with the partnerships that we have, some huge partnerships that we've already gained just in the last couple of weeks. Our membership's going up. In BC, we need our membership to go up so we can continue with this momentum. We're in this together. Let's build back this industry in BC. And thank you for hearing me out.
Thanks, Carl. Great update there. And our thoughts do go out to everybody in BC. Let's go to Scott here in Alberta.
Thank you. So first thing, I'll ask Carl if we can have the playbook for BC in terms of that campaign. And the reason for that is there is a listening from the Alberta government for a campaign, but left in their hands, we don't think it'll ever actually materialize. So we need to kind of take the bull by the horns and get stuff done ourselves. So update in Alberta, the government we've been engaged with, they are starting to talk about a positive messaging campaign. But the disappointment was in our last call, they said that it wasn't going to be specific to fitness. It was going to be more generalized, talking about GDP, et cetera, et cetera. And we are strongly advocating for a fitness specific message because our industry continues to have challenges based on perception. So, but now that the restriction exemption program, aka passports, in place, there's, we've had 0 cases of transmission. So we do need positive support. We need Dr. Hinshaw to tell people that fitness facilities are safe and the time is now to start exercising. So I'd love to see what you're doing in BC and just basically plagiarize it. So thank you for that. And then we are in conversations about a tax credit. So again, there's been some back and forth. They have done some research. They're looking at other provinces. So again, how serious is the government about this will remain to be seen, but there are activities happening right now about a physical activity tax credit. So that is, I'll call it, I'm cautiously optimistic. And then what is also happening behind the scenes is the government's helping navigate the bureaucracy that is Alberta Health to promote the Prescription to Get Active program. So many people on the call know what that is. It's founded in Alberta. It's publicly funded by the Alberta government, Alberta Health Services, but a lot of physicians don't know about it. So they're going to help us promote that program internally. Just anecdotally, we put an ad in the Alberta Medical Association Journal, and overnight got 10 calls from physicians asking to be part of the Prescription to Get Active program. So those are basically our 3 points that we're working on. It is like at times pushing a wet noodle up a hill. So, the campaign, I love what I'm hearing out of BC, and we'd love to follow suit. So that's Alberta.
Thank you, Scott. For Saskatchewan, unfortunately, Jolene was not able to make it today. However, she did send me an update to read out to the group, which I will do now. So in Saskatchewan, we have had 2 meetings with the opposition. They have invited us to attend a cabinet meeting where they will bring up our concerns to the government on why a meeting hasn't been booked with our industry when it was promised multiple times. We are working with Elena Young, a small businesses critic, and Trent Witherspoon, a finance critic. We are still under the vaccine and passport mandate right now, and will likely see that extended into the new year. A few gyms have she's talked to are pulling the plug at the end of the year and unfortunately can't keep operating. So things are still tight in Saskatchewan, and unfortunately some businesses are closing, but the good thing is that they are keeping in front of the government and they are pursuing to advocate on everyone's behalf. So with that, I will pass it to Amber, who can speak to us about Manitoba.
Hey guys. Not a huge update here. Stephanie couldn't make it on today's call, but she sent an update on what she's doing in Winnipeg. I'm 2 hours from her. So there hasn't been any Manitoba meetings for us, for the leads to meet and talk yet. That'll be next week. She did have that marketing campaign going where they were filming. There was a little bit of money given to them to film for gyms, to show why people should return to the gym. And they did finish filming that, but that won't come out until the bulk of it will be sent out in January and launched in January instead of right now. So I guess they're just waiting because December is too busy. And Manitoba, we're having a little bit of a tough spot, and I guess I have to do the same thing and play. I have to talk to Scott a bit more. I want to hear about what they're doing about that prescription to get active. I'm curious on that. And same with Carl about the funding. Manitoba, we haven't received, we're the only industry now that has not received any support or any funding or any financial help at all. We still are, still have a little bit of restrictions in place, taking quite a big hit here. And just with the conversations, so I had a health inspector actually come to my own gym 2 days ago. And when they come in hot. And I understand the pressures that they're going through, but they come in pretty hot. They'll come in because they've heard from another gym like 2 hours away that they're not complying. So they're standing there waiting to see if anybody walks to get water without their mask, or they're coming around and scanning everybody, even though we are showing every way that we're complying. So I had another conversation, not a very nice conversation, honestly, today with health with the health inspector, because she kept saying, it sounds like restrictions. We have a new premier, if you guys don't know, that just came into play a couple weeks ago. So we just received a new premier. We're not sure how it's going to work in Manitoba with her yet. So far, we're not in the right direction, we'll say. And the health inspector did tell me today on the phone, in quotes, she said, well, we all know that gyms are the highest risk for people to be in, and with COVID, we all know that they're the highest spreaders. We all know. And there was a lot of biting my tongue during that moment, because I feel that our health inspectors in our province still have not, they still kind of push our industry aside. They have yet to help us financially. They have yet to help support us in the fitness industry. And to come out and for them to still be saying 2 years later that we are the highest risk, the highest spreaders. I tried to say, let's have a conversation about, about that with the Canadian Fitness Council, because I'd love for you guys to see a different side of that. They just weren't having it. She just didn't seem to care. It sounds like they're going to push. I own Anytime Fitness, so with a 24/7 club, I talked to a few other Anytime Fitnesses. We've all been kind of targeted this week, and we have a feeling that they're gonna go backwards on us, and that they're gonna take away our 24 hours on us. We have a feeling that's coming really fast, and we need to figure out how to prepare really quickly if that is what's coming, because of the quotes that they're giving us, and they're all kind of giving us the same story of us being the highest spreaders. It went to the point of where she wanted to speak to like our corporate owner in Minneapolis to see how the industries are working and what we're doing, and how, even though we are individually owned, she wanted to know how they're shutting off, people's key fobs, and how it's working, even though we're separate. So we're still being targeted here. We're not on the right path yet. We need to do something bigger and higher and better, and we need to a little bigger of a push than just some commercials that they're allowing us to do, because it's not helping us. We're not getting people back in yet. We're not seeing the proper changes here. So any help that we can get from any of you guys would be appreciated. I know I'm new into this role, but I have been following these meetings for a long time, and I'll do whatever we can. So the main steps that we're looking for help on is how we can ask the government. There is a lot of money they're spending on a lot of things right now. It's just not in fitness. So if there's a way that you guys, I know Carl, you succeeded in that once, maybe even twice, and how we can get those conversations now that they've all changed roles in our government. Maybe that's an open opportunity for more conversations. It is basically all females in those positions now too. So we'll see if we can get our foot in the door a little bit more and have these conversations with them about how important it is for people to get back to the gym. So I'm just looking forward to listening to what you guys are doing and what I hear some successes. And so Scott, I'll be in touch with you too, because I want to see that prescription to get active, even if it's not direct with the government pushing things for us. If they're helping people to get back in the clubs, then we'll do that too. So I'm basically just going to listen in and see what you guys have for information for us today. Thanks.
Thanks, Amber, for that update. We really appreciate you opening up about that, because that allows other clubs and other leaders to support you in what you're pursuing. So I know both Sara and Carl would like to connect with you and offer you some assistance in that. Let's go on to Ontario.
Hey Trisha, hey team.
Hi, Ian.
So
Ian, thank you.
Yeah, update Ontario-wise. So in terms of COVID, things have been fairly stable. We've seen like a slight uptick in cases just recently, but Ontario's vaccination rate is very good. It's been very high. We haven't really seen any sort of change in terms of hospitalizations or ICU, which has been good. The Ontario government slowed down a little bit of their reopening plan. It hasn't had a huge impact on fitness. Right now, we are like fairly open. We have capacity limits lifted, so we are back full running. The last little piece of Ontario's plan was focused more on like club atmospheres, and I know they've just slowed those down a bit with the uptick of cases. In terms of the Ontario leadership team, we've recently just had one member, one of our leads step down. So we're probably looking to regroup and just have a leadership meeting, discuss kind of next steps for us here. Ongoing with the Ontario government, we don't have the same connection or conversations that definitely other provinces have. Like we don't have contacts there that we regularly speak with. So that's been a challenge for us. We are typically left in the dark. But we are right now kind of coming out of this. We have open capacity to be able to operate. So I think the name of the game is just recovery. This month is when those major subsidies have kind of came to an end for us. So I think most like operators, most businesses are going to be feeling that crunch between these next couple months. And yeah, that's kind of what's happening Ontario wise.
Okay. Thank you, Ian, for that update. Last but not least, we have Quebec.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing this morning? Vote for me, please. No, I lost my election, so now I'm back full time in the business.
Impossible. Impossible.
Hey,
impossible.
It's crazy, man. I did a month of doors to doors talking to everybody. They were all on my side, but not at the election. So that's it. So hey, guys, in Quebec, it's kind of flat. Like everything is normal, I guess. They announced a small release of the measures. We went from 2 meters to 1 meter, but only when it's not intense. So and running on a treadmill is intense. So for all the groups and all the spinning classes and CrossFit and Orange and all those kind of intense classes, it's still 2 meters. The coaches still need to wear a mask. You still need to have a mask when you walk in the gym, so you don't wear a mask just when you train. But at least we went from 2 meters to 1 meter when it's mostly like strength and all those stuff. So for some places like yoga classes, it's good for them because they can have more people inside. But the measure is still the same. The government is clearly going for the new election in less than 1 year, and we see starting to do a lot of wah stuff on the media. He announced yesterday he want to reform the hockey in Quebec to have more players gaining the high ground and blah blah. So we see that there's a pre-election stuff coming, so we're going to try to use it for our advantage and try to ask some stuff like can we have a sport minister instead of the sport under education? Can we have more publicity for health and conditioning and make sure people know that it's important to move and stay active and all those kind of stuff? But and they announced something big, I think. They announced that the kids are gonna start to be vaccinated next week, and if the vaccine is going good and the cases are still low, they're gonna announce the end of the emergency state in the beginning of 2022. So maybe in Quebec it's gonna, and you know they are going to election, so it's good for them to say they beat the COVID and now it's over. So I think in January or February, maybe some measures will go down and they're gonna go and say yes, we beat the thing. But for the rest, it's still finding coaches that is difficult. All the subsidies are down, so we don't have anymore. So many gyms are starting to feel the heat. 10% and more of the money you get. I don't know. I'm trying to find my word now, but the business is down by at least 10% here. So it's kind of tough. So we'll see if beginning of 2022, many gyms are going to fall. Many are talking about difficult time right now. It's tough for them and they don't know how they're going to go back to normal. But for the population right now, it's kind of feeling like we all are already or at least at the end of the pandemic. So this is for the gym. I don't know, Nathalie, if your English is better than mine, I'm sure, but do you have some other stuff to say about Quebec province and what's happening here?
No, I covered it. Thank you. And your English is perfectly fine, Gabriel.
Okay,
Thank you for sharing all that.
So that's it. So next election, I'm gonna be there. Vote for me.
Whoa, wait, hold on. What? Because the last time we asked you, what are you saying?
No, I like honestly, I checked for provincial. I wanted to go for Minister of Sport, but all the spots are already taken, so I cannot go there. So I will be at least in my business for the 4 years to come. But in Quebec, we lost the election, but our chief of the party, he passed, not as a chief, but as a councillor. And he's been announced to be the sport guy for the city. So, he's the sport guy. I'm kind of near the guy. So maybe I'm going to be the second in sport in Quebec. So maybe it's going to move a little bit.
Well, we officially name you second sport guy in Quebec.
That's it.
I think we can all approve. Yeah, approved. You're guy number one for us, Gabriel. That's what matters.
Thank you. I love you all.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your updates. Quick note that next Friday, for all of the leads, we do have a meeting that has been booked. So this time next Friday, what we want to do is come up with a structure for all the provincial leads to follow to help you guide through your meetings when you are doing your provincial efforts. And we feel that that will provide a little bit more support to your advocacy, as well as any of the initiatives that you are doing. Sara, would you like to speak a little bit to how you see that structure going?
Yeah, I think that, again, according to our strategic plan, one of the things that we want to do, especially as it's go time, all of us are really focused on rebuilding our businesses, and we have kind of less time, downtime. Not that we ever had a lot of downtime, but you know what I mean. So we want to make it easy for all of the provincial council leads and all of the provincial coalitions to do the work that they're doing in their province, to be supported, to know what to run on their calls, to know what kind of structure to follow and everything. Because again, when we're planned and prepared, everything falls into place and it just feels a little bit easier. So we want to take the national strategy. We then want to have every provincial coalition determine a provincial strategy that flows up into the national strategy, present that to your provincial coalition members, and then be able to speak on that on an ongoing basis. And we will provide you again with the framework to do that. But again, just making sure that we are always moving back towards our wildly important goal in order to kind of reach that big goal of having 10,000 fitness businesses registered with FIC. Again, the bigger we are, the bigger our voice, the more change that we can make in our industry. So that's how I see that working. And again, that's all to empower all of our provincial coalitions. So.
Wonderful. With that, does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments, or anything that they may have forgotten to bring up today for any of our discussion pieces?
I just wanted to say thank you to the FIC for your ongoing sponsorship and partnership with CanFit Pro. I forgot to thank you specifically, but FIC has been a sponsor with our conference events for many years, and we look forward to 2022, in which we can see you all in person together in August at the CanFit Pro Global Conference and Trade Show, which will be August 10th through 14th. So please mark it on your calendars, because I have a feeling it's going to be one heck of a party.
Oh, absolutely. I know I, for one, am looking forward.
I feel like we should just do a road trip, go grab everybody, take it around the country, and then head right into downtown
Scott
Toronto.
started. Scott is flying to the West Coast. He's going to rent a van and he's going to drive across. He already told me that. So I'm excited. Scott, you just let me know when you're picking me up and we'll just keep going.
It's a bus, not a van. It should
Okay.
be bigger than a van.
Okay. We'll do a very big bus.
Oh man, we'll find you a good parking spot right out front of the entrance to the Metro Toronto Convention Center. You can brand it and it'll be great. So something to look forward to. I hope that you are all excited about that. It gives us real hope that we'll be coming together. I know it's a long way away, but as we know, before you know it, it's here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Mo. Wonderful. Well, it looks like we are good to wrap up early today. So I want to thank you all for taking time on your Friday for joining us. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead. And we will connect again very, very soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.